What's up guys, Tom, Burn Star channel, and a little more progress on working on the black car this time around. So if you have watched my Club Blues 2 Fuck Winter Bash coverage from Midvale, which you should because it's awesome, and I'll do the bar thingy up here, you may have noticed that I couldn't run my spares on the S550 because my SN95 wheels don't fit. So I just concluded that 17s don't fit over the S550 brakes, but on the drift group I was informed that only certain wheels don't fit. It depends on your inner dimensions of your barrel, but some 17-inch wheels can fit because a lot of the drag racing guys that use the S550 are obviously going to 17s, and so that's good to know. So we're going to try and piece together a setup that works for me on 17s because, you know, you're probably aware that tires are a little hard to come by these days, and when in the middle of the winter, when it basically came out that this year is going to be a nightmare for tires, I just stocked up like crazy. And I stocked up on 17s because that's my preferred size. So now I need to figure out how to make my stash of tires work on a car I have no wheels for. So here is an RPF1 that Josh has laying around that I'm going to use to see if RPF1s fit, because that would be an option. Those are decent wheels, you know. And I also did something a little unconventional, I guess. I got myself conversion spacers, which I didn't even know existed for this, because I'm trying to put 5 on 100 wheels on a car that is 5 on 114.3, and usually people are trying to achieve the opposite, to get the more common wheels on the crappy Volkswagen / Subaru whatever bolt pattern. Well, since I drift a Subaru, I have a giant stash of drift burners for it, and a lot of them are 17s. So I'm hoping that I'll find this magical combo where I can use either RPF1s or these conversion spacers to just use the same drift spares on both cars, because that would actually be pretty trick, because I wouldn't have to think so much about what I pack before events. So let's see if I get lucky. I am happy to report, in case anyone cares, that RPF everyone's just barely, and I mean by like quarter inch, clear the brake calipers. So for US 550 guys, as an FYI, RPF ones in let me confirm, but I think they're 17x9 ET22. I'll check that out here in a second, but those do work with our ginormous brakes, so there's that. Yep, memory served me correctly. Those NKs are 17x9 ET22, and that looks like an almost perfect fit, actually. As an alternative, I've got a 25mm spacer that converts 114.3 to 100, which, like I said, I think is a little unusual. Typically it's the other way around. And with these, they come, of course, most conversion spacers come with these specialty lug nuts, the itty bitty short ones that barely have a hex on them. And the idea with those is that they fit flush. Two issues with that. First, I'm not going to shorten my lugs, so there was no need to use those short specialty ones. I just got myself some conventional short open-ended lug nuts, and they use every thread that they have available, but of course they poke a little past the spacer, so that limits what kind of wheels I can run. I can only run wheels that have pockets between the lug holes. And the other complication here was, second complication, these lug nuts are M12s. The Mustang has M14 lugs, another reason to use these other ones. But that's not a big deal, that's fine. So now I'm going to go through my stash of wheels and see if I can find one that actually clears the brakes and has the pockets in the back of the wheel hub that clear these protruding lug nuts. And since I have a stash of probably about 100 wheels, there have to be some that fit that bill, because I really, really, really want to run 17s. Alright, we already have a winner. I'm sure getting my money's worth out of these TSW wheels. I bought these probably 12 years ago for a Dodge SRT4 Then they've also served their time on a Pontiac Fiero. Then I've used them on my BRZ as drift spares because all those cars share the 5/100 bolt pattern. And yeah, from the looks of it, they, thanks to the 1-inch spacers, they clear the brakes. So these aren't the prettiest, but if it fits, it chips, you know. Also worth pointing out, for my initial eyeball alignment, I'm pretty happy with the tire wear on this car. These are the Ling Longs or whatever. Like I said, it's just whatever came on the car. But that tread wear looks very nice. One of the things that I would like to tackle is I want the rear bumper to be just as easily removable as the front. The rear bumper, however, seems to be held to the car with a whole lot more fasteners. But it just makes working on the car so much easier when these panels are quick to remove and can just come off, because it's easier to get to a lot of stuff once they're off. And it's also nice for your alignments when you can get to the bash bars. So the taillights have to come out to get the bumper off, and they've made an interesting choice there. The electrical connector for the taillight is actually in the trunk, and then there's this big rubber grommet that the harness is molded right into, and you have to pull that out in order to get the taillight. No biggie, but now you know. Yeah, there's more fasteners in the wheel wells and underneath for the diffuser. Those are going to be a lot more convenient to get to when the car is on the lift, which it has to go on anyway. So I am super happy that I actually have my own shop with a 2-post lift in it. But I will say, I got a little spoiled working at Sport because of course their shop is huge and it's easy to get to everything. Whereas in my situation here, I actually have to check the rear of the car up and put dollies underneath it to reposition the car between the lift posts perfectly, because I knew that the Mustang was a way bigger car than the blue car, but it's one thing to know it and another to experience it. Like with the angle kit on the front, this thing is so wide I can barely get it on the lift. And yeah, but hey, here we are, pecking away at it, you know. Okay, so bumper skin is off. As you can see, there's a small bucket's worth of little 7mm fasteners, plastic clips, and then there's all these clip brackets that latch into little detents on the bumper. And I just can't stand these things, to be honest. And the previous owner had some issues with the fitment too, apparently, because there was a big blob of what looks like hot glue on one of these brackets. So somebody was trying to improve the fitment by all means necessary, so to say. But yeah, factory crash beam. Down here there were a couple of brackets that hold on that fake diffuser on the back of the bumper. I decided to keep the rear wheel well liners in there because they do a pretty good job of collecting all the dirt. So there's plastic brackets on the back here that normally attach to this with plastic clips, so I zip tied that like on a proper drift car. And of course, now it's time to deploy more quik latches. So what I'm hoping I can get away with is all these plastic clips here are gone. I'm trying to see if I can get a quik latch to be mounted right there. The trick is that the back of the quarter panel here, it's pretty shallow to the face of where the bumper's gonna sit. So I'm not sure yet if I can make use of a quik latch here, or if I have to resort to like screwing it into a riv nut in this specific location. We'll figure that out. Worst case, I can always go down here. There's tons of room. They also make these little cups that you can cut a hole for and mount like a bucket for the stud, so that you could get it flush here. I'm just trying to make this as simple as possible. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, quik latch prep time again. So pretty similar to with the front. You gotta make sure that you hold the panel in a position that you want it to be in once it's mounted. Mark the spot, look that the surface behind it is suitable for the stud, drill a small hole through, make make sure the alignment is really what you wanted, and then transfer the whole to the body. So now what we're going to do is take the bumper off, drill out the hole here, mount a riv nut, like I said, to get the quick connect to sit as close to the sheet metal as possible, so I don't need to save room for the washer and the nut and all that stuff. This is a first for me, but luckily these are 1/4-20 threads on these ball studs that come with the quick latches, and I happen to have the crimping tool, and I also have some rib nuts for them, so it should be a go. Drill that out, place the rib nut, drill this out, place the quick connect, and that should be it. The only thing holding the bumper at that point is going to be one quick latch on each side, and in the center of the bumper on the rear I left one of those clip brackets that's basically right behind where the license plate would be mounted. That one little strip, even if those clips all break, which I'm sure they will, they'll create a ledge for the bumper to rest on so that it doesn't like sag down. And I think between those 3 points of contact, that should be plenty. So here, as you can see, we have the quick connect with the stud, and this rib nut insert is a perfect fit. And the benefit, like I said, over using 2 conventional nuts is that I should be able to get this extremely close to the quick connect and then just use a jam nut from behind. From the looks of things, that second step on the step drill should be the perfect size as a hole for these rib nuts. So we'll get cranking with this guy. Alright, here's my beloved rib nut tool. Get the anvil converted over to the 1/4-20. And now hopefully this will just be one quick ding. And we should have a firmly seated rib nut. And from the looks of it, that's exactly what we got. Hope I didn't put the wrong size in there. Nope. That's what we wanted. Yeah, look at that. This is awesome. Let me grab the camera and show you this closer. This is very nice. So here's the little ball stud that I can now mount. Actually, I could go as flush as this. You can see how little that pokes out. And then snap. Oh, I didn't get the snap. Let's do that again. Snap. I think this will work. Yay. Go me. So now just put the jam nut on, drill a hole in the bumper, and then we'll report back how it worked out. So I haven't messed with the fitment too much yet. This is pretty much screw the stud flush to the rib nut and then clip the bumper on. And on this side it looks pretty decent. On the other side, the wheel arch fitment is pretty good too, but back here it's sagging a little bit more than I like. I wonder if the tail lights will help hold that in place a little better. But interestingly, this right here is the spot where the previous owner put hot glue on the clip rail underneath, so this bumper may have always fit like crap, I don't know. Look at all this magnificent angle. Oh yes. Whee! And I'd say plenty on the lead wheel too. Yep. I like it. Okay, clearance check. Even though I already cut a bunch out of the fender, there is still interference. And so now the issue I run into is that there's this bar here that basically supports the fender to the chassis, which mounts right here. And if you put it in that factory location, the tire will rub, at least on my setup. So I'm going to trim the front of this and drill a new hole like right about here, so that I can bend this around the headlight a little and get it further away, and then I'll be able to essentially take all this extra material off in this bracket up here as well to gain extra tire clearance. So this bracket and this stuff, another inch or so needs to come out. So that worked out pretty much exactly as I wanted it to. So I went ahead and trimmed this little support bar, so that got rid of some of the length facing forward and also a bunch of the thickness, because you know the profile on this edge was rolled. So I repositioned the hole from the factory to up there, and that works out beautifully, I think. Let's see if I can get this to start with one hand. Alright, so now that bar is up there, tucked up closer to the headlight, and you can already see where I started cutting. So this is all gonna come out right here, and then I'm going to continue cutting more material out of the inside of the fender structure here, and we should be golden. Here's a quick side-by-side comparison of this, so you can see how much clearance there is now here versus the other side. So all this is gonna go away here soon also. Pit race event is done. Both cars are back at home, and I'm so pressed for time, I'm not even gonna take the car off the trailer to do the cage prep. Literally work on the car on the trailer. And since I have to remove the dash and all the interior trim and the rest of the garbage that's left that I didn't already rip out, it's actually pretty nifty to have it on the trailer, because all the fasteners I need to get to under the dash are now at a nice working height. So yeah, gotta bust ass for like an hour or two, then hopefully this thing is completely stripped, and then she goes to Thompson Racing Fabrication for a minty mint cage, just like Blue's got. And I'm super stoked for that, because I like race cars, I like cages, I like proper seats. I'm definitely not a street car kind of guy. I'm all about race cars, so this is a good day. Took a day off for this, so it's gotta be a good day. One of the benefits of working on your car during the week in the morning is that there's pretty much only talk shows on the radio, and I hate talk shows. So I'm forced to put on the only station that actually plays music, which is the local classic country station. And that stuff is absolutely impossible to listen to. Like it's that painful, and that's good because that motivates you to get the job done quicker. Almost done. Car's looking mighty empty now. Pretty much all that's left to do is pull the dash at this point, and when that's done the car won't drive. So that's gonna literally be the last thing before it rolls into the shop. But she's naked. Look at all this garbage. Remember how much we pulled out in the other episode? How nice would it be if you could order a running driving car without all the garbage? Like just a chassis with glass and a running gear, maybe a driver's seat to get started, but save all the rest of the crap. That'd be so nice.